I used to believe life was cruel, as if every challenge existed only to crush me. Every failure felt like proof that the world was against me. When something went wrong, my first reaction was always, why me? That question echoed in my head like a curse. It made me bitter, angry, and restless. I thought I was cursed to struggle endlessly. The weight of this mindset chained me down, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't break free. I lived as if the universe had conspired to hold me back, keeping me locked in despair forever. But something inside me began to shift when I realized that living as a victim only made the pain heavier. I remember nights where I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, consumed by the thought that nothing would ever change. Yet, there was a whisper deep in my heart, almost drowned by my doubts, asking a different question. What if the pain had a purpose? What if the losses weren't punishments, but lessons? That tiny thought scared me, but it also sparked a curiosity I couldn't ignore. The truth is, the world never owed me anything, yet I had spent years waiting for someone to rescue me. I thought my friends, my family, or even luck itself would one day appear and set me free from my struggles. But no one came. And the silence taught me something. The only one who could save me was me. That realization shook me. It wasn't comforting at first, it was terrifying. But in that terror, I found an unfamiliar sense of power stirring inside me. For once, I felt alive. I began to notice how every painful experience had shaped me in ways I hadn't understood before. The heartbreaks had given me empathy I never thought I'd possess. The failures had forced me to grow stronger, sharper, more determined. The rejections that once broke my spirit had actually redirected me onto paths I would have never chosen but desperately needed. Each scar carried a story, each wound a hidden lesson. It dawned on me that maybe, just maybe, the struggles weren't there to destroy me. They were there to build something inside me, something unshakable. One night, I stood alone in the quiet of my room, reflecting on everything I had endured. I closed my eyes and asked myself a new question. Not, why is this happening to me, but what is this teaching me? The moment those words formed in my mind, everything shifted. The heaviness in my chest loosened. My breath felt lighter. Suddenly, the chaos around me seemed less like punishment and more like preparation. That night, I discovered the power of perspective, and I knew my life would never be the same again. I started replaying my hardest memories one by one, testing this new lens. The heartbreak that left me shattered? It taught me I could survive being broken and still rise stronger. The failures that left me humiliated? They taught me persistence, the grit to keep moving even when the world turned its back on me. The betrayals that cut the deepest? They taught me to rely on my own strength instead of seeking validation from others. Slowly, the tragedies I had once cursed began to reveal themselves as hidden blessings waiting to be uncovered. But don't think the transition was easy. Each day, my old thoughts tried to drag me back into victimhood. Why me? Whispered through my mind, tempting me to surrender to despair again. Yet, with every challenge, I forced myself to flip the question. Instead of drowning in pain, I asked, what for me? And every time I discovered a spark of meaning hidden beneath the suffering. This practice became my anchor, something I could hold on to when everything else seemed to slip through my hands, and that anchor saved me. I remember one morning waking up to another rejection letter. For a moment, I felt the familiar sting of defeat, but instead of sinking into self-pity, I asked myself, what is this guiding me toward? For the first time, rejection didn't crush me. It redirected me. That small shift in thought felt like unlocking a hidden door to freedom. I realized I had been searching for approval in all the wrong places, and this rejection was the universe nudging me to create my own path. That moment marked the beginning of a new kind of strength. And still, fear lingered. What if I was wrong? What if this mindset shift was just wishful thinking? But then I looked at my scars, both visible and invisible, and realized I had already survived battles I once thought would end me. I was proof that pain could be endured. I was proof that growth could rise from ashes. That realization kept me steady. The fear didn't vanish, but it no longer controlled me. Instead, it sharpened me, reminding me that the journey was never supposed to be easy. It was supposed to be transformative. So I embraced the idea fully. Life doesn't happen to me. It happens for me. Every obstacle is a stepping stone. Every wound is a lesson. Every fall is an invitation to rise again, stronger than before. I no longer ask why me. Instead, I ask, what for me? And with every answer, I discover a strength I never knew I had. This isn't just a mindset shift, it's the foundation of freedom. It's the key that unlocked my chains. And once I turned that key, nothing in the world could stop me from moving forward. I began to look at people differently too. The ones who had hurt me, betrayed me, or abandoned me no longer seemed like villains in my story. Instead, they were teachers, each playing a role in shaping who I was meant to become. Their rejection gave me resilience. Their absence forced me to stand on my own. Their cruelty awakened a fire in me that I never knew I carried. I stopped wasting my energy on resentment. Instead, I thanked them silently because without their actions, I might never have discovered my strength. They unknowingly prepared me for greatness. Every time life tested me, I chose to see it as training, like fire refining gold. When difficulties pressed down on me, I reminded myself that pressure creates diamonds. I no longer saw myself as unlucky but chosen for transformation. The more intense the pain, the greater the lesson hiding behind it. This realization gave me courage. Even when the nights felt endless, even when silence echoed like a scream in my head, I held on. I whispered to myself, "This is happening for me." Those words became my shield, protecting me from despair and self-destruction. One evening, I stood on a bridge, staring down at the rushing water. My mind was heavy with questions about my future. Fear tried to convince me that I was powerless, but my heart reminded me of every time I had risen before. The memories of survival returned, moments when I thought I couldn't endure, but did. I clenched the railing tighter, breathing deeply, and whispered, "Life is not against me, it's guiding me." At that instant, a strange calm washed over me, as if the river below carried away all the weight I had carried for years. The next day, I woke up with a clarity I had never felt before. The world around me hadn't changed. The struggles were still there, the challenges remained, but I had changed. My perspective had shifted permanently. Problems no longer looked like prison walls, they looked like stepping stones. Every obstacle seemed like a hidden doorway, waiting for me to walk through. I no longer prayed for an easy life. I prayed for the strength to endure whatever came. That prayer gave me power. It was as if I had finally found the courage to dance with life instead of fearing it. This shift didn't just affect my inner world, it transformed my actions. I stopped waiting for opportunities to find me. I began creating them. I started projects I once thought I wasn't capable of. I approached challenges with curiosity instead of dread. Even when I failed, I asked myself, what lesson hides here? And sure enough, I found it. Failure no longer crushed me. It built me. Every setback became fuel. Every closed door sparked the determination to build my own. I realized that power had always been within me. I simply needed the right perspective to uncover it. Looking back, I see how blind I once was. For years, I begged life to stop being so cruel, never realizing it was shaping me for something greater. The struggles weren't curses, they were invitations. Invitations to grow, to evolve, to transform into someone capable of carrying the weight of their own destiny. That's what life had been preparing me for all along. And when I finally stopped resisting, I saw the truth clearly. Life doesn't punish, it prepares. Life doesn't break, it builds. Life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. That shift gave me freedom I can't describe. But I won't lie, dark days still come. There are still moments when doubt whispers, when fear creeps back into my heart. On those days, I almost slip back into old habits. But then I remind myself of the battles I've already survived. I remind myself of the scars that tell stories of victories I once thought impossible. The doubt doesn't disappear instantly, but I face it with strength instead of surrender. I've learned that resilience isn't about avoiding pain, it's about using it. Every time darkness tries to pull me under, I rise stronger, fueled by the fire within. Now, whenever someone asks me how I endure so much, I smile. I tell them the truth. I stopped asking, why me, and started asking, what for me. That simple shift changed everything. It turned me from a victim into a fighter, from a wanderer into a creator, from someone who feared the storm into someone who could dance in the rain. Life isn't easier now, It's just different. Because once you understand that pain has a purpose, nothing can break you. Not betrayal, not loss, not failure. You become unstoppable because every fall only makes you stronger. The most beautiful part is realizing that none of this was wasted. Every heartbreak, every sleepless night, every tear I shed, they all carried me here. They all carved out the strength that now pulses in my veins. They all prepared me for battles I haven't even faced yet. And though I once cursed those moments, today I am grateful for them. Without them, I would not be me. Without them, I would not have discovered the power of perspective. Life gave me pain, yes, but hidden within that pain was the gift of transformation, and I finally unwrapped it. So here I am, standing tall, no longer afraid of what life throws my way. I know now that every obstacle is not the end, it's a beginning. Every rejection is not a failure, it's redirection. Every struggle is not punishment, it's preparation. And when I look into the mirror, I no longer see a victim. I see a survivor. I see a fighter. I see someone who has learned the secret. Life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. And with that truth engraved in my soul, I walk forward with courage, knowing nothing can ever truly stop me again.